Hey, do you want to create a stylish photo slideshow like the one you're watching right now? Then stick around, I'll show you how. You're welcome to another video on this channel. Before we get started, if you're new here, consider subscribing for more awesome videos like this. Let's get started. Alright, in order to pull this off, we need images. I've imported mine to my library. You can do the same. And if you're done, let's get started. Let's start by dragging down a white sample to the track on the timeline. And let's drag down our first image to the second track on the timeline. Double click on the image, go to transform and change the scale to 40%. Let's add 2 more tracks to the timeline. Right click on the image and copy. Paste the image on those 2 tracks on the timeline. We've duplicated the images into 3. Now go to the screen, drag the images and position them. Make sure they're properly aligned on the screen. Now let's take a snapshot by clicking that icon. Highlight the 3 images and delete them. Now let's drag down our second image to the track on the timeline. Double click on the image, go to transform and change the scale to 40%. Copy the image and paste it on the other 2 tracks on the timeline. Double click on the image and drag and position them and make sure they are aligned properly. Then click that icon to take a snapshot. Now we can drag down our next image next, so you can repeat the same thing depending on how many snapshot or images you want to use. So you can do the same to the other images one after the other, just following the process. So let's drag then our last image. This is the last image we're going to use for this one. Let's apply a different style to this. So double click on the image, go to transform and change it to 50%. Right click and copy the image and duplicate the image as many as you want. Add more tracks to the timeline. Copy and paste the images as many as you want. Now go to the screen, drag the images and position them. Make sure you align them properly, one after the other. Now let's add border to our images. Go to Effect and search for border. Drag and drop the border on each of the images one after the other. So when we're done, click that icon to take a snapshot. And here is all our snapshot. So highlight and delete the images, we don't need them. Now let's go back to our media, drag then all the images to the track on the timeline, one after the other. So let's add pan and zoom. Click on the first image and click on crop and zoom icon and it will bring us to this window. Now let's add pan and zoom. So you can see this arrow right there. The arrow shows the movement of the image. So we want this first one to move from right to left. So go to the second image, click on the image and click on that icon to go to crop and zoom. Click on pan and zoom and apply pan and zoom to our image. Now the second image should move to the opposite direction of the first one. So when you're done, you can apply the same thing to the third image. So next, let's go back to the first image and drag down the original image to the second track on the timeline. Likewise, all the other 3 images. Double click on the first image and go to transform. Change the scale to 80%. Then go to Effects, search for border, drag and drop it on the image. Double click on the image and go to setting, and let's make some changes to this. Let's change the start and the end color, and then let's add shadow to our image. Now click on shadow setting and make some changes right there, and we'll have something like this. Now right click on the image and copy effects. Then highlight the rest 3 other images and paste effects. And the same effect on the first image will be applied to the other images, just like this. Let's click on our first snapshot. Go to effects and search for square blur. Drag and drop it on the first snapshot. Likewise, the other 2 snapshots. Do the same to the other 2 snapshots, except the last one. Now, as you can see, we've applied blur to our images, 3 first snapshot. Go to the last image, drag down the image to another track and leave a space in the middle. Now go to sample color, drag and drop black color in between the 2 images. Double click on the color and go to compositing. Change the opacity to 50 or 70%. Click on the first image and go to the screen, drag the image to the right hand corner. Double click on the image and go to animation, click on customize. Make sure the playhead is at the beginning. Add a keyframe, move the playhead to the end of the first image and go to position X and change it to -300. Let's go to the second image. Go to the screen and move the image from right to left. Then click on animation, click on customize, and make sure the playhead is at the beginning of the image. Add a keyframe, then move the playhead to the end of the image. Then go to position X and change the position to 300. And to move the image to the other side, just like this. Apply the same thing to the next image. On our last image, we want to apply a different style, something like this. So in order to pull that off, let's click on the image and go to transform. Expand it, or you can change the scale to 95%. Go back to animation and click on customize. Now make sure the playhead is at the end of the image. Add a keyframe and move back the playhead to the beginning of the image. Then change the scale to 40%. I will have something like this. So let's check out what we have so far. So let's go to transition, click on transition, and let's add some transition to our slideshow. Depending on the transition you want, if you have this, you can do the same thing. Just drag and drop it in between the images, and let's see what we have. So when we're done, you may want to add maybe sound effects or music. So drag and drop some sound effects and music, and make sure you align it properly. Make sure it's not too loud or too low. So align it properly. When you're done, congratulations. You just made a stylish photo slideshow in few minutes. Well guys, thanks for watching or following this tutorial. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and find it valuable. If you're new here, I think it's time you smash that subscribe button. And if you miss any steps, you can slow it down. You can go back and go through it, slow it down and follow it slowly. And if you're confused or there's anything you don't understand or you have questions, you can leave it in the comment below and I'll attend to it. So once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.